Good.
Yeah.
Don't move.
It is live.
Don't move, because as soon as I move,
Yeah, she stands up though.
right, then I'll stand up.
There you go.
Okay. So you guys, thank you so much for coming. This is your first Saturday training, isn't it? Yeah. So awesome, you guys. And I think you all are on the same team except for one. So thank you guys so much for coming. Apologize for the delay. What we're going to do before we get started, so if you write down, there's a couple things that I changed on the Aim to Dream calendar that we're going to start doing. And we are going to start, this is scary, since we'll get it. We get it, right?
You can.
You can. You can. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Every Saturday morning, we're going to connect, okay? So it's going to be at 9:30. So, but we're going to get together live like this once a month. All right, we're going to see how this rolls. And really where this came from is smarternetworker.com. For those of you that are on Smarter Networker, we got an email that they're starting a Saturday training, and they're really teaching us how to do a Saturday training. So it's really cool. So here's what I want you to write down. It's already in the calendar online. It is 11:15, so that's next Saturday. Will be 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and we're going to talk about product barriers and product stories. So that's going to be next Saturday. Product barrier. What Smarter Networker talks about is there's barriers that we have to break through for our belief to come through. Now you are all leaders, so your job too is to make sure that if you've got somebody on your team, doesn't matter if they're just invite them. Invite them. Hey, you got to jump on this call. I'll be on the call. We're going to be talking about some product barriers. What's product barriers? I don't know. I know. That's all you need to say, okay? So at 11:15 is product barriers. We're going to talk about that for a half an hour, 9:30 to 10 a.m. It'll be on the conference line, and it will be recorded. So if for some, you have some family event or something going on, you can listen to the replay. Now, hint to all of you out there, here's the deal. I know who gets on. Okay? So we know who logs on, who watches replays. So when I get lip service from some people, and I'm not trying to be mean, that say, oh, I so want to do this. I so want to, like Chris or Dave, after our call last Wednesday, they're like, who was on there? I can go through the analytics and know who's on. Okay, so just FYI. If you can't make it, listen to the replay because I get an email if you listen to it. All right, 11:22, that's a Saturday, will be retail barriers and retail sales stories. It'll be a half hour, again, 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Your job to invite your circle to get on this call. If they don't get on the call, invite them to get on the replay. 11:29 will be recruiting barriers and recruiting stories. Deal. 12:06 will be training barriers. So that'll be personal development. So we're basically following what Smarter Networker has done. What they do with these Saturday trainings is it goes and you start over the next month and you go through different stories, different training, but again, it's product barriers, retail barriers, recruiting barriers, training barriers next month. So we're bringing new people in and their understanding. Now we will all be together here on 12/13, 9:30 a.m. That's fine. We'll record it. We'll get this figured out. But I'm going to send some things out, and I'm going to recruit Jennifer, if you can write down, I'll be in touch with her. 12/13, I'd like to make it somewhat fun. It's coming right before Christmas, that everyone brings one of their brown AdvoCare boxes, because you all should, I have 4,000, all broken down. That in that box is either something that you made, creative, on your heart to give, could be a white elephant, could be funny, but we're going to put them all in the middle and just pick boxes and take turns. So it's kind of like just a fun one. Yeah, like a white elephant, but I'm going to recruit.
That's on what day?
That's on Saturday, 12/13, because that's been on the calendar to be here at 9:30 in the morning.
And we're doing 12/6 too.
That's your call. Do I have that backwards?
12/13.
12/13 is here, 12/6 is the call.
Oh, okay.
So 11:15, 11:22, 11:29, 12/6 is basically every Saturday is a call. You get on the call to replay. 12/13, we're here live together. Because Blue Heron will have a tree and all of that kind of stuff, but we'll make it fun and more of a fun type of thing. But I'm going to recruit Jen to help, possibly Dave, Leslie, whatever. Okay, there's some ideas around there. So that's just our planning in our calendar right there. So write that down, have your dates in your calendar. They're already on the Aim to Dream calendar, the Google Calendar, okay? Nothing on my end for what this says. Hang on. I should just go to something else. It's the usual conference line number. It's on there already, 14242038000, and then there's the access 2677493. But it's on the calendar, and I will also remind you and invite you. But you are all here. You're the leaders. You need to put that out there to everybody else. So we want to get consistent. Really, why we want to do the Saturday and connect is because we want to celebrate what happened to you during the week. So it's a way to connect and go, hey, Lucy had a call. It was totally fun. She got Dave on the phone and sold 4 canisters of Spark and doesn't even know this lady. That's pretty awesome. You know, it's successes like that that's like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I just earned this. Or George has been making some major dials and we had 2 epic no-shows. That's okay. It happens. But the third one, Mary yesterday, was awesome. Awesome lady that he would have never connected with. She's in Alabama. Who knows what she's going to do, but we need to celebrate that. So it's just a way to keep each other accountable. A lot of you, like Dave always likes to call and go, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I'm like, great. Well, we want to celebrate that among everybody else. Or if you had a really crud week, that I had a couple team members this week calling in tears. Plain and simple. Everyone's different. I mean, dudes aren't going to do that necessarily. Dudes are going to be frustrated. If they call, they're like, man, I'm getting beat up out here. I'm getting abused. I'm getting told I'm crazy. I'm seeing all kinds of rejection everywhere. And you make it seem so easy. I'm like, no, welcome. But we need to lift each other up. So that's really why we're going to do this Saturday. Okay? All right. So going back to, I have a couple of shout outs to really fast. A couple people are not here, 2 are. So the first one is, and I know she can't get on, is Rebecca. I have a gift for her because she drew the line in the sand this week, and she is committed to every Tuesday and Thursday after work. She gets off at 4, and she works full time. It's crazy. But she is going to the Panera in San Antonio, sitting there in the parking lot, and has to make her 10 phone calls and her follow-ups before she can come home and see her family. So she did that this week. It's the only way that it's going to change her circumstances. So she drew that line in the sand. So I have a gift for her that I'll give to her next weekend. Yeah. So yay, Rebecca. Is it still on or no?
I haven't gotten her. No, we're still broadcasting.
Okay,
this.
yeah. The other one is Kelly Kennedy. She was one that called a really tough week for her. I mean, got opposition from every angle, that told that she's just trying to use people basically to get her ahead in her business when she was trying to help some people with some personal development with respect to what training we're learning. So just lower than, whatever. But she pulled herself up and she made it through the week. She did a brilliant job here Thursday night, even in the midst of all of that craziness. So I have a gift for her. So shout it out for Kelly. And then I have got, let's see, so here, and then that's what that
Did
goes.
you use your hay?
Yeah, I use my hay. So it's so awesome, right? I'm so festive, right? All right, so the other one is for George, and George, you gotta come and sit here in the hot seat because I just want you to share really fast. George cracked me up this week, and then now you're taking your hat off, whatever, put your hat on, whatever, it's fine, you're cool, look at me, I'm just looking. All right, George finally drew the line in the sand as well. He's been around for, 3 years now. Not a part of social income, so he's making some serious dials. His goal, he started Monday or Tuesday? Yeah.
Tuesday for this week, yeah.
For this Monday. Oh, hey, there you are, see? By this Monday, he wants to have 100 dials in. But he cracked me up because when we first had our first no-show three-way phone call, what did you say to me?
This no show.
We were talking forever, and I realized
Yeah.
the person's not going to show up. He's like, no, this is hard. like, this is so hard. I have made so many phone calls.
Right, right.
And so many dials. This is so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, welcome aboard. Welcome.
Yeah.
But what did you also say?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Get the numbers in, get the people in the fight, so that's all I want.
That's what you want because you drew the line in the sand.
Right.
And who's off this week from work, but it's about making dials. And people are on lip service, they're not
Right.
calling you back, they're not showing up for 3 weeks, and following you haven't given up, and you followed your playbook.
Right.
I mean, he's getting stronger. With his language and his posture is getting stronger.
Feel confident.
Yes. And then when we got Mary on the phone yesterday, church was being no show or not, because she told us that she would.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
Wow.
We were on the phone for almost an hour.
You wouldn't stop.
Nope.
She actually qualified herself, right?
We followed the script book to a T. Every question came directly from the script book, and she just went on and on and on. And he learned so much about her and what her dreams and goals that he has everything to circle back. So, anything else?
Just that when things change for me, I want to keep this as a job. You know, you are going to get fired from your job. You know, that's things are changing for me because I'm trying to be more professional in this. You know what I mean?
We're trying now.
Okay, I'm being more professional in this, and just treating this as a business. My I'm the CEO, so that's fun. And thanks, Amy, for the help.
Awesome. And then the last one I have, and this is just for Chris. And this, you did an awesome job putting together Thursday night. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of stuff that goes on that most don't realize, especially if they're brand new. And we were texting, laughing, whatever, with our whole group of everyone that was presenting. But you put together the agenda, had this room set up, had the invite. It's a lot of work behind the scenes to get everybody coordinated. And so you've done that. But I also want to just say thank you for sticking and staying, because it's been 4 years and they haven't left. And I always say in front of a meeting or a group, it takes one. Chris and Heather Rojas were my one. If it wasn't for them sticking and staying, and I will never forget that, we wouldn't be where we are. Your group is the biggest, most of you are part of this group, the biggest part of our organization. But it's because they have stuck and stayed. And there have been hard times? Yes. Have we argued? Yes. Have we wanted to beat each other up? Yes.
That's what Heather. She talks like Heather too, and I'm like.
Yeah, piece of juice, whatever. But we've had fun. Our family's grown. So I wanted to give you this. Come up here and just share what is it meant for you and how you're growing. Because I also too got a super huge compliment from many people that saw you a couple of years ago present and came back Thursday night. And we're like, what has he done? He's so different. He's changed. So we call the girl.
That's too fast. I started reading Proverbs, and it said even a fool is considered wise when he shuts his mouth. So yeah, that's when you read scripture, stuff happens.
Did you read Proverbs a Day for October? I did, and all it was about women.
Well, we're, in this business, we're told to shut up a lot, right? Or like ask questions, duck it. Right? Ask questions, duck it. So no, it's really just about persistence. I'm on. You guys haven't read Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino.
Great. I haven't read that one yet. Just repeat it one more time.
The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino.
Okay.
I actually audiobooked it on the way home one day from New Jersey, and it was Og Mandino actually narrated it. It was great, and he goes through 10 secret scrolls that change his life. And the second scroll is, the first scroll is, I will read the state of love in my heart. And the second scroll is, I will business from deed. So.
That's all good. We're all learning.
But thank you very much.
No, thank you for sticking and staying. I appreciate it. And there's ebbs and there's flows. And so, Kathy Bocci is correctional. Like, who parents literally 2 seconds. We'll get back to that. So anyway, so that's what we're going to do is basically lift people up. So everyone, all of you are champions, and in one way or another. Those are the ones that stuck out for me. But we want to be able to share and lift each other up every single week. It is tough to be out in the marketplace. You're getting beat up, plain and simple, every day. But sometimes you think you're on an island and you're the only one that no one's answering my call. How's come no one's calling me back? How come I keep getting reached? Well, right? So we'll be able to convene and do that on Saturdays. So getting to the training here, you have your papers printed out that I asked you to kind of print out. We're going to lay out the next 10 weeks or so, 8 weeks or so, if you will. So on your, and really where this came from is when I posted on Wednesday the post your goals. It's really scary to do that, okay? I know it, because I sat there and I didn't want to post mine. You don't want to put it in writing. You put it in writing, then it's like, I actually do this, right? So the you leaders know every Wednesday following the pay period close, that's going to go up. Goal is just a wish unless there's a plan. And so you need to, as leaders, to make sure that you write out what are your goals. Maybe it's just a health goal. Some people just had simply health goals on there. That was awesome. I don't care. Get it in writing. Because you're going to have others that lift you up. And I'm still doing some people. Thank you all for putting this on. All right? It's going to change. You've got to hold yourself accountable. So that's the first thing, is that the Wednesday following the pay period. What I realized is I have a lot of new people, and you guys may too, that reached out on the privately and said, what do you mean? What do you mean by pay period? What do you mean by goals? What is this volume stuff? How many people am I supposed to? And I thought, well, you look at me, right, Lucy?
Yeah.
Yes, making your leg quick. It's scary, and I have no idea. So that's really where this came from, that we're going to slow down here. And so the first one is, that's why we printed out. Now, my Advocare, so when all of you log into the back end, for those of you who've been around for a while, that Advocare, took a little while to get to have it very organized and very simple. If you're brand new, you log into your microsite and the tabs at the top. The My Advocare tab, and you guys all found your business tools, clicked on it, and you should have this, all right, which is your daily activity tracker. For some of you, for me, I need to see paper, so I trees. I'm sorry. For others, digital, it has to be in front of me. My brain flirts. For others, look at you got it in a binder. Oh, Lucy, rock. For others, it's digital, whatever works, all right? So this very first one, your name. This pay period that we're in right now ends 11/18/14. Okay? So 11/18 it ends. 11/19 is the pay period beginning. That's the Wednesday. Bing, bing, bing. 11/19 means we've got a conference call, a team conference call at 12:30 p.m. It's been on the calendar. Your leaders need to make sure your circle, you're inviting them, reminding them. Okay, that's up to you. It's going to be at 12:30 again till 1. It will get recorded. And I know who's on. And I know who this is. So I know who's serious. If you can't get on because of work, totally get it. So 11/19 is that call. 11/19 will be when that P3 goals go back up. Reset, got another 2 weeks, right? So, yeah, Dave, go.
Can you describe for the new people what the purpose of the call?
The purpose of the call, great Dave, is pay period wrap up. Recognition for what happened in the last 2 weeks. If someone wins a rookie bonus, we're going to give them a shout out, let them speak. If someone hits a new leadership level, or qualifies for a new leadership level, or recruited so many people, we're going to do that. Or we may have somebody from the outside, meaning Crossline, that's going to come and share their story. The reason I do that from time to time is because our numbers, sometimes when they sink, and it's going to happen, it's ebbs and flow, right? So I'm not being mean at all, but we'll give those shout outs, but I generally like to have you guys hear somebody else. Asking hard now, 12 years.
What our
So,
What,
what was her last name?
I would just keep getting
Wetzel.
Wetzel, it's Barb Bones, she's Barb Bones Settle,
Oh, Settle?
Settle,
Oh, okay.
yeah. She's from Virginia. She's still out. So that's really the purpose of the call. I'll usually open it up at the end to try to keep it to a half hour. Why? Because Joe Hadachek's calls at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's Brad's mentor. We're a part of the Hadachek organization. So I'd like to plug into Joe to see what's going on. Does that make sense? Did that help? But really, it's a time to come together. Your stories, Elijah. But if you guys aren't getting on there, and you're not, Chris brought up a good point. He's like, I need to be like, I can't do everybody, and I try to create life. You gotta be responsible, pay for yourself. So, did that help? You want to add anything? No? Okay.
Well, it's also the kickoff. It's the regroup for fall.
It's a
It's also
regroup.
the restart.
It's
Hey,
a
David,
regroup.
everyone's starting over at
Yep.
the same spot right now, ready
Yep,
today.
everybody's zero. So great point, Dave. When you get to Tuesday night at midnight or wherever time zone you're in, Wednesday when you wake up, everybody's reports are 0. Everybody's, it doesn't matter if you're double diamond, whatever, down to you just started, everybody's 0. Everybody. So it's a great to regroup, set your goals, not beat yourself up. Hey, if you had a junky 2 weeks, that's okay. Okay, it's life. We all got other things going on. So we regroup. That's really the purpose of it. Is that cool? So we'll regroup on Wednesdays, and then Saturday is when then we're going to get together with some training pieces and be able to still, because you may be all fired up on Wednesday, I'm going to do this. By Friday, you're down in the dumps because you got cold no 14 times and no callbacks, and then you run the other way, and then the pay period ends, and you didn't meet your goals, and here we go again. Right? So,
The team call is like the bare minimum that you should be. There's a lot of stuff that on that, webinars every day, from all over the country and champion makers training and everything. And besides your retailing, recruiting, and getting people on these things, the team call is the must do. That is the must do. If you're going to treat this like a business, so if we're telling our folks that, hey, if you want to make some money, just get on this team call. That is the basic right here. You got to get on the team call because you hear stories, you hear from Amy, you hear from Brad or Barb or whatever, and you hear other people doing things, and it's like, it's that recharge. It's the plug-in. It's the 2-week recharge. You have to do it.
okay, yeah, there's something. And if you guys have ideas, suggestions, something, I wish she'd talk about this, or message. I'm open to anything. Sometimes I'm just pulling stuff out of thin air, trying to, like, what does everybody need? Okay, so let me know. If you have something you want to say, speak up.
You can start seeing your people lose charge when they're not getting on the call. That's when they're fading out, and then if they miss 3, 4, 5 in a row, there's no power.
No power. Disengage. from
Battery's
the power source.
dead.
Yep. So that's really what we're going to do. So now on your pages, then you should have. So here, 11:18 is this next pay period. The one after that is 12:2 pay period. And I just filled mine out so that I'm ready to go. 12:2. The next one is 12:16 rather. Pay period close. Then 1/6 pay period close. 1/20 pay period close. Key dates. So remember, Agbo Nation for Cincinnati for that week is 1/17. If you're in San Antonio, that's going to be 1/10. So Agbo Nations are either taking place that weekend of the 10th or the weekend of the 17th. Here's what's key. 12/16 to 1/6 is a 3-weeker. We have 3 weekers. What happens in 3 weekers? Dave?
Yeah, I see what that. No, a 3-weeker. It's basically you have a whole extra week to generate that volume. That you build a lot more volume to advance pin levels because you're just gathering that. If you're not delaying just a 3-weeker, thinking, hey, I got 3 weeks, you keep the same effort and you can capture 3 weeks. That's a huge boost to your business because your numbers go up, your income goes up, the people you're talking to goes up, your results goes up, pin levels happen, you get the qualification. There's just so much momentum happens with that, and that one in particular will be huge because you build so much momentum of people saying, hey, I'm going to start the first year, Now what happens is you get that pin qualification then, and then you build on that momentum starting out that first full pay period in January to really lock that in. So it's great with a target. Okay, when do I want to be at a pin level? Okay, there's the 3 weeker and the 2 weeker. That's a perfect time to let the pipeline flow when that time comes.
Right, awesome, I'm glad you said that. So what we'll call, sometimes you'll hear a 2-3-2. So the 2 weeker that ends 12-2 is follow, or, we'll go 12-16, I'm sorry, right. 12-16 is when that period ends on, granted it's Christmas, so excuses, right? That's a 2, and then 1-6 is the 3, and then 120 is the 2. Is that right? So 2-3-2. Just like Dave said, and all I can tell you is January is go time. Because it's New Year's resolutions. AdvoCare always kicks it into, we're going to have new things. It's what's coming. We're hearing from several of the diamond meetings and leaders. There's major things coming in January. You need to be an advisor. That's all I know. I will be in Texas this week. I don't know what I'm going to find out. I will completely have that. So that's so exciting. All right. But this goes back to then tying into your goals, projecting where you want to be. So if you're saying I need $500 a month, and you tell your leader I want to be silver leadership level, I want to be earning $1,000 a month, then we're going to look at the calendar and back. What do you need to be doing then? Starting now, feeding the pipeline like George talked about, talking to people. All right. So when it has in the corner here for this daily activity, registered for Advo Nation. If you're serious, you're at Advo Nation. No excuse. Period. My goodness, I looked it up. It's $69. It's one day in Cincinnati. There's still registration available. You need to connect with your circle of influence, but you need to bring people with you. If you need to purchase a ticket for somebody that you really care for, and you see it for them, get it. Load your car up, but that's a must. If you're not going to be at Advo Nation, that's our Mac Daddy, okay? So that's a must. The $1,000 PGB this period, you'll see at the bottom up here. That's where we got a lot of questions like, what are you talking about? Why do you have 1,000? Print it out. Again, go to your microsite if you have not done this. And underneath the Learn tab, Policies and Procedures. Our policies and procedures, now I kill this for you again, I'm sorry, but it's 28 pages long. The only person that I know of to date that has read verbatim before they went advisor was Charlotte Snyder. She's an engineer. Okay, great. Verbatim. She knows everything in here.
You didn't, Jim?
I did glance through it.
You
I didn't read
glanced.
it.
She read every line. She's probably laughing right now.
Ruby
She's not.
skims.
Yeah. No, yeah, right. Sapphire never even knew this existed until like last year. I'm just kidding. All right. So, but on page 19 of your policies and procedures talks about volume, PGV, and what that means. So, in the basic sense, without getting too in depth, if that is your homework. If you don't know this, why I print this out, I need to go over and review it so I know that I know it, but know the details. It's page 19. Personal group volume is the sum of your personal volume, so that means what you purchase, or in your group volume. If you have individuals in your group that are registered under you, or in your group, it's what they order. If they are not an advisor, so they're underneath, they're 30% or below. So that is the combined volume. All right, that's what stands for PPV. The chart below represents the personal volume only. The example, there's no distributors. Some of you have no distributors, and that's okay. So what does this mean for you? What we want you to start projecting and thinking about, if you want to earn income and you want to build a business, it's got to be duplicatable, then you have got to have your personal volume has to be in there so that you can see your other numbers down the road. It makes no sense if you're brand new. But here's really what the trick to it is, and I didn't get this for a long time. Follow me on it. When do you want your volume to go in, Chris? You've been doing this.
Wednesday.
Wednesday following the pay period. How many of you all, especially if you wait till the closing period, with ordering, because you're watching numbers? I do. So I like doing the light went off. So if you wait till the close of the pay period, you can't see, if you've got other advisors and you're building a group, you cannot see all your numbers. You can't see where you are. So that's why it's so imperative. That's the first reason. The second, if you're brand new and you're just getting going and you have nobody, to kick off your goal the first day of that pay period, you gotta have an order in. To put an order in so that it forces you to go sell, to share. You know you spent the money, so you gotta go share it, right? Now, some of you will go, well, it's easy for you to say, because you do this. All right, yeah, go ahead.
It's easy.
Right?
Money.
Because you've been here for 5 years, and I heard you saying that you average $10,000 a month, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, goes back to, you like that? Was that good?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip that out.
Okay, thank you, awesome. What it goes, shut up, Frank.
Could you repeat that? I like, just freeze it frame when you like that.
Slow-mo, it's slow.
Frank's the one that's going in to get his surgery done again in December, right? Because you can't hear anything I'm saying anyway, because I talk so fast. All right, so the deal is that we're running a business, right? So in the beginning, I would put in $500 retail at 40% off. What's your investment? And I always know it's $375.
300.
That's what I'm used to saying.
300.
Okay, I'm learning the numbers. I'm just kidding. Anyone can do this. So I would put $500 retail. That's basically 2 24-day challenges. Or it can be whatever you want, but I would know 2 challenges are coming up. Okay, who am I targeting? Who am I sharing AdvoCare with? Who am I getting on the phone? Need to sell these challenges. 9 times out of 10, I can get the challenges sold before they even come in. Here's where I want you to take a step back and realize when I had Quiznos, and Barb said this on the phone the other night, they owned an Ace Hardware store for 18 years. They had to do inventory every single week. They had to have product on the shelves for customers to come in and buy. No different at Quiznos. We had to do inventory every Sunday night, and our food truck came twice a week, and our produce truck came 3 times a week. We had to spend that money before we were even making sandwiches on the line. So thousands of dollars are going out to have the product for people to come in and to prepare. Goodness. So now when I realized I actually purchased on that first day of the pay period $1,000 retail. And that's where I am right now. It's $1,000, which means, hi, directionally challenged. Welcome, Kathy. Come on in. We were a few minutes late. It's all good. This is Kathy. This is Kelly's sister. So welcome, Kathy. Your sister lives right down the street. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Just kidding. She came all the way from Mentor, though. So that's a far home.
Yeah.
Well, the freeway's closed.
Oh.
West 90.
Is it
so
still
then I had to
closed
go
on
77. I had no clue.
Well, thank you for coming. Don't worry, we'll get you caught up and there's a replay. No. So with that inventory, on the first day of the pay period is when you want to make sure you've got a minimum, if you're driving a business, $500 retail to $1,000 retail. Is it, some people go, that's risky. Okay, so if I'm at Quiznos, back it up, and I say, oh, I don't have that. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have that sandwich. I'm sorry, we're out of that variety. Oh, or Heather here, I'm sorry, we can't do your filling if we don't have the right material. You could do this one though. Really? So like George, like you said, you drew the line in the sand treating it as a business. If you want to earn income, treat it like a business, that's what I do. And I can see again, I can see all the numbers in that again. So I know who's giving lip service, who's serious and who's not. Because I can see where you are. If you're at a 0, you don't know where your numbers are. And what's really sad is I have some people that would be making a lot of money. They have no numbers. They have no idea. Because people down through their groups are putting orders in. Back off. I'll stop right there. I don't want to preach. Anything you want to add? And I'm just asking these guys because they've been around the longest.
I would just just add the idea of the business. And it's more just being honest with yourself. What do you want out of this? Do you want $200, $250 to cover your products for the month? Or do you want to make $1,000, or do you want to replace your income? And being honest about what you want out of this, so your effort matches that. So if you want $500 a month or $250 a month, okay, then your plan's going to look different than the person wanting $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month, and that's okay.
Right.
But just be honest with where you're at and what you want out of it, and then the person can help you put a plan together for that goal. The most frustrating thing is to say, I want to make $5,000 a month, but you're not putting your order in, and you're not hugging to the team call. So it's just being honest, and you'll make the stress and aggravation, and just focus in on what exactly it's going to take to get to where you want to be with.
That's what is the most frustrating thing. They will say to me, I want to bring you on. Really? Do you really? Because if you knew what really goes in on the back end, and you've been around for 5 years and know what we've been through, the people that have said yes here, the people that say they're going to do something don't, the people that they're gone, where are they? Why wouldn't you do what you do? It's hard.
And I think the biggest thing from you said the team call, this all goes back to this whole business about your belief. There's the hows, the tools, or how do you talk to people, what about this product, what's in here. All this comes back to your belief, and that's why you stick, because it gets tough. So the team calls, why to be in the team call? It's about your belief. Why to come to training? It's about your belief. Why to hear more stories? It's belief. All these things are about, oh, okay, you know what, I will never leave this because here's what I know. That belief was because I was at Admiral Nation, because it was a success school. So whatever level you want to be at income-wise, the first piece of that belief that can happen if you just follow the steps. The only way to keep building belief is to be involved, be on the calls, be at the meetings, talking to people that are doing it.
Absolutely. It's because, and I didn't believe in the beginning. I started selfishly. Brad had that belief. He did. He believed in me, and I just kept going back to the basics. Sharon Spark, get a strong palm, and kept going with it. That's it. It's really wearing my colors, talking to everybody that I know, getting to know people. But he believed before I did. Once I believed, and I'm like, oh, I was kicked out of the net. Now my belief is for you. But you guys, you have to have the belief to go with it before. But the only way that you're going to have that belief is Laura talked about that on the call the other night. Like, oh, I got on and off the AdvoCare training so many times. So, don't want to scare you. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, the thing about putting the product in is because you're going to eat it. We used a boatload of product. We've got 5 people in our family. Each of us take a shake, M&S. My kids drink Spark. We hydrate, the Champs. I use a lot of the workout products. I use all the workout products.
I gotta recover.
Requires it. All right. But Heather, all those wellness things, she probably takes like 7 or 8 of those bottles, joint promotion. So if you're not using the products, I mean, that's the first thing they said. Dan said, use the products, talk to people, wear your colors. If you're not putting an order in, that means you're not using the products.
Right.
How are you going to sell something you don't use?
Exactly. No, thank you for sharing that. And that is the first one on this page on your daily activity tracker. Take your products correctly. So it was a great lead-in. Now, does it mean that you take everything? No, you do what you can afford. But if you're not taking products, and we're the same way. So a good $500 of that retail of that order, it's for we have 6 that are all consuming stuff. And my oldest, I can't wait till he takes things like, welcome, welcome, the Spark, Fruit Punch, Flying out of our house. So it is. It's about consumption because you got to be who you say you are. So thank you for sharing that. Now, if you are brand new, the one thought that came in my head, if you just became an advisor and you're sitting on this huge order, then the goal when you're writing down on that Wednesday is we got to get rid of this order. You know, like Lucy, you're working your way to advisor. You are halfway there, been around for a while and using product for a while, but now wants to get to 40%. Then we've got to go to work for you. You've got to employ your son. You might want to be opposite in the room.
I'll second. No.
But her goal, if you're brand new, then our goal is we got to get to advisor. Okay, we're at advisor and we're sitting on a $3,000 worth of product. Who are we talking to? Like, we got to get that inventory, boom, out so that we can on Wednesday. Because are you realistically going to put $1,000 order in and you just ordered 3,000? But our goals are different. So we got to get rid of your order, and when you hit 40%, then it's rookie bonus time. So A, we got to get rid of the order, then we got to get a rookie bonus. And if you win, that increases belief. It's product stories in your circle of influence, and you never know who they're going to know. Okay? So the second one, participate in team conference calls. We already nailed this down. Now you'll see across here, it basically starts on a Wednesday. So your first thing is a Wednesday. So W means, okay, team call, we got that, 12:30, we already beat that up. Have our goals in place, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way through for basically for 2 weeks. That's good, 3 weeks, you got to add it in. But numbers don't lie, is really what this is saying. You don't say, I don't know what to do, I don't know what, everybody's saying no. Okay, let's look at your papers. How many samples, the fourth one down, sample spark or slam? How many people did you sample this week? Okay. 1. Awesome. Put it down on the day. 1. 1's better than a 0. 5. 6. Again, it goes back to depending on what your goals and what you want. If you want to earn a huge income and you need this, then you're going to be like a Dawn Funk, 5 a day. That was her goal in the beginning with good jobs. She was not going home to 5 people. On for Bob Thurngren, 5 a day. Now Bob Thurngren, 10 a day. 10. Okay, but he does it full time. You got to know their stories and where they are. So if it's 1 a day for you, cool. And maybe it can be 2, then it can be 3, but these numbers don't lie. You got to get sparked on the action.
But to your point right there, nobody wants to do this. Well, I only spark 2 people.
Right?
Well, what do you mean nobody? Okay, your odds of when you talk to 2, I think if you talk to 20, your odds may increase. You know, and that's where, you know, if you have somebody talk to you, you put 3 people on put 3 people on a call, and actually one who signs up and orders products at 32%. Well, gee, how do you get more people? We'll talk to 3 more, we probably get 1 more.
Right, George. So how many dials did you make so far this week? From Tuesday till now it's Saturday. How many dials? Little over 50. His goal is to get to 100 by Monday. How many 3-way phone calls did we have? 3. 2 no-shows. 1 great. So 50 calls. This is a cold market, so it's different than your warm market. We have completely cold line that we don't even know, so that takes a little bit longer. But 50 calls, 3 ways, 1 we got.
Can I ask, to make those 50 calls, how much time did it take you? Because a lot of you probably left messages, right?
Right.
So how long did it take you to make 50 calls?
All of you takes about 30 to
14 calls, 30 to 40 minutes, he said.
Right. Not hard.
Okay, so you only have like less than 3 hours of calls. That led to 3 follow-up calls. That led to 1 person that is excited that may do something. So your total investment of time to maybe find that 1 person so far, you're like 5 hours or less
Right.
to find 1.
Yeah. What I love about it, if you want to get to 3, then you're fine. I love that.
If you want to get to 3, George said, great nugget, triple your time.
And that is for a cold market. Now, if you were
Right.
taking that same time and effort of those calls to people you already have some sort of relationship, obviously the numbers of return are going to be much higher than a completely cold market.
Correct. Because how many, Chris, we've done, I don't know how many meetings in the last 5 years, 4 years, and how many no-show meetings we've had, and how many calls, how many people does it take?
Can't count.
And you never know who's
Yeah.
yes, who's really going to show up. Right? Thursday night, perfect example. Heather, she was
She
was
six-
disappointed
She had 6
after-
confirmed.
She had 6 confirmed. Warm market. These are clients. 6 confirmed. No show. And how much work did that take her? She was deflated. It's like, hey, you know what? It's okay.
We have that over here. People,
Yes.
yeah,
They just
all
don't show.
confirmed
And you have
it.
an appointment.
they
and you-
confirm the day before, and then
But guess what? Your staff still needs to get paid.
Yep.
The hygienists are still here. So that's where take this business. If you want to drive this, take it business mentality. Treat it like a business. Don't even excuses.
you know what we do when they cancel. The infections. Always calling us.
know, don't get frustrated and mad if you give up on them. Love them where they are, right? Jim and I were back and forth yesterday, and I was torturing him. I know, kids, I'm sorry. I'm not, because he knows what to do. But his question was, oh, I already left a message. You left a message. I just feel like it's too much. Like, we need to back off. I'm like, well, what would our $1 million personal development leader that works in $1,000 go listen to? What would she say? He goes, I don't know. You tell me. Like, nice. Okay, I will tell you. Be a part of the 2%. Be persistent. Still reach out. Maybe they didn't get your voicemail. Maybe they actually deleted it. Still send a message. Don't back off because of fear. Love them where they are. Until they say no, like, what was the interview that Daniel Johnson talked about? What's his face? What's the ratio of people who say no? It's like at 14 to 17 is when people will finally follow us. Will finally, if they leave that door open, unless they slam the door in your face, tell you absolutely no, get out of here, I don't want to hear from you, that means go for right now. Right?
And it's usually nothing that you're doing. It's keep me busy, my friend's getting in the hospital, and you know, it's always.
Help people, but be persistent. Right? So you'll see the whole list down here. I mean, it just doesn't lie. How many presentations did you do one-on-one? No, Dave, you had a couple different weeks. Put them in there. I had one that I was supposed to have Thursday canceled. Okay, so if they canceled, it's okay. I had it down. I'm supposed to do it. How many 2-on-1 presentations? That means you're involving your mentor. Who's helping you. All right? How many 3-way phone calls? Y'all know that it's my favorite. It's just how I had to do this because Brad was long distance. But Mary's in Alabama. If she gets going, she's going to have to do it long distance until it warrants you to go down there and see her. So how many calls did you do? Did you host a mixer? Many of us. Why? You're afraid, you're fearing, all that junk. Get over yourself. Put it out there. I did webinars this week just because my schedule didn't allow the kids. So, how many guests did you have to an event? Did you have a new prospect on a call or a webinar? There's webinars and stuff going on all the time now. Are you inviting them to join you? And are you following up afterwards? The new distributor, new advisor, line, whatever. So you calculate your points, but this makes it very real.
Just use an example here. I mean, I'm gonna use Andy as an example because he's brand new, wants to get to advisor. I guess, you know, he could have been at the beginning and said he wasn't coachable the right way, but then he got coachable and he just started introducing people and was going about it a little bit differently and how to share. You know, was coachable. That they then wanted to know more, and then he was putting him on the 3-way phone calls. And we fall right through the system. That Art was here the other day. It was a person he introduced me to on the phone. We had a conversation. It was a follow-up. Here, go watch this. We watched that. You know, you want to earn money? Let's get together. We got together, had a 2-hour meeting. Did he first blow us off and forget? Yeah. Well, they return calls. Okay, he had the 2-hour meeting. Okay, hey, we're going to do this now. Well, wait a minute. He delayed. But then he called me and says, no, I want you to talk to some people. So then he was already introducing me. And then he came to his first event. And he brought him. Why? Because even without Andy knowing, Art put me on the phone with 3 people, and one of them wanted to continue to know more in the follow-up in the system that showed up here. So, came the preview, made the introductions, and then let us kind of go from there. So there's basically he's followed right through on this system where, okay, yeah, that was a lot easier that way, wasn't it?
But does it happen overnight?
No, no.
And that's really where you learn a whole lot of patience. We are a microwave society that comes from there is planting seeds, watering the seed, waiting for the harvest. Seeds that you plant now national parks. So do you have the patience and the resilience? And if you drop out for a week or two, or you get sidetracked, it happens, we're all human, that weighs pressure. So that's why keeping yourself accountable is so key. But on this other paper that I had you guys print out, it's a success system tracker. This is especially helpful for the newbies or the oldies who think they can do it all. I mean, I always get zapped in the rear end too. I still have to follow the success system. But right in the center, the green box, what does it say? The fortune is in the follow-up. So like Dave just said, Art didn't still follow up. Then Kim, gotta continue to follow up with her. Follow up. Same with Jim. Working with her, gotta follow up. Sometimes you feel like a broken record. That's all you do. But are you following the success system? If you're a Lone Ranger and you're reinventing the wheel and you think you can do this on your own, good luck. You're gonna go all flat on your face, you're gonna get frustrated, derailed. This doesn't work. No, you don't work. I'm serious. There's one thing to my fault that I was teachable from day one, only because I had the fear of, what, kill me. Because that was his introduction to Agile care. What do I do? Just tell me what to do. Spark them, get them on the phone. Spark them, get them on the phone. Spark them. That's all I knew. It's not all. So really track, are you following the system? Are you using third-party credibility? Are you using your impact magazine? Are you using stories? Are you answering questions? I have one girl that's teachable, they need it. Been on product for 3 years. Financially, they need this. It's not funny. And she was to the point of tears the other night when I sent a story. It's on my heart to share Cottage Shannon Marvel's story about not even being able to afford basketball shoes or ton. I have kids. You should see my I got that. But that's where we are. What do I need? Oh. All right. Impact Magazine, know these stories because you don't have one. Okay, I'm going to deal with new people tonight. What do I say? I know I love Spark and product. What do I say? You say, listen, I have an opportunity. My friend, who's a Fruit Loop, she's a mom of 4, but she stays at home, and she is ripping off close to $9,000 a month helping other people, and she's going to help me. But I have an opportunity, and I respect your opinion. Will you try this and give me your feedback? Because you know why? I'm sick and tired of living the way we are. I'm sick and tired of not being able to afford things for my kids. I'm sick and tired of not being able to even travel, and I'm sick and tired of worrying about even putting food on. I'm like, you got it? Like, you got it. If they ask you a question, well, what is that? What is that? Sometimes I don't know about that. Here's what I know. Here's a friend in the she's memorizing the Impact Magazine on their drive right now. Here's what I know. I don't know about that. Here's what I know. Try the Spark. I'm going to follow up with you. I want your honest feedback. Here. Does that help?
When you said the whole success system works, exactly what you said there, the mistake I think a lot of people make in the beginning, I know I did, is you want them to do this, and you want instant, you want them to say yes, you want them to get on product, you want them to do the challenge, you want them to say yes to talking to someone, because they're trying to force it too fast and not on their timing. And the fact is, it's going to take people. There's a success system of, they're not going to say, oh, you should have Spark, I want to go to this advisor thing and do this business. Okay, that doesn't, yeah, that's a very anomaly if that ever happens. So what is it going to take? It's thinking the people you're talking to right now, the chance that maybe they're not going to be doing anything this week. They may be the people that come on January 1st, but they're not going to come on January 1st unless you introduce them without trying to convince them now. And when they know you're not trying to convince them, you're sharing what this is for them, where are they at, they're more likely to keep wanting to know more because they're asking for more because they see something, not feel like you're trying to get them to do something.
Right. You got to get yourself out of the scenario. It's not about you, it's about them. The one thing that I'll share too that is really cool, I have Kelly and I know Rebecca, they do it constantly. Before they even make a move, they call me, okay, I'm heading, Kelly yesterday, I'm heading into this meeting, already telling me he doesn't have the money, he's broke, but I know we'd be great. Blah, blah, blah. We're talking about, here's what I was thinking I was going to say. Listen to her. And then I stopped. I said, okay, that sounds great. How about we, though, develop a relationship form? You got to find out what his needs are. You got to get him talking about his family, his kids, his time, whether he falls into service, whether he likes doing competition or fun. You got to figure him out. But you got to hold the posture. I love what Barb said. I said, remember when Barb was on the call the other day? Again, she plugged in. Remember what Barb said? Love when she said, I took the stance of interviewing people. You're interviewing him. You want him on your team. Are you going to go in there and bang him? Don't you go in there and beg. You create that relationship and form him, then you interview him. And you hold that posture. This is what we're doing. This is why. This is where we see ourselves. I'd love to have you on board. Got it. Instead, you would have walked in. Which is the numbers. Not about you. So, if you're brand new, and I say this all the time, use the person who got you involved. Use them before you do anything. This is what I was thinking about saying. What do you right? That helps. Rebecca does it all the time. George getting onto it. But you had to get through some of your own first barriers, and that is why we're always saying that we're trying to help harder than anything else. Because we all carry baggage, right? Where do our conversation here, if I share that we about so much in Cincinnati? He leaned over and he's just kind of saying the same thing, and he's frustrated. And I said, George, here's the deal. You have a problem because I'm a female. His face got beet red. He's beet red right now, like a tomato. And he was like, I don't think that. No, okay, I do. Not that, but it's his personality style is when he doesn't like to be told what to do, doesn't like to follow directions. He thinks he knows it all. He thinks he can do it, and it's making him mad because his Fruit Loop is killing it. And he's like, you're making me so mad. And I'm like, you have an ego problem, and you need to check it, and you need to respect the fact, I don't care if you're male, female, but you've got this female issue. He's like, I'm sorry. I guess I knew I didn't realize. I'm like, I love you like a brother. Who cares? But in your mind, I am not going to do that. I can, whatever. Right? What?
I could do better.
Yeah, and that's what you said. He goes, in my mind, I can do better than you. And I'm like, no, you can't. So I said, but look at Brad. He's a male. The majority of his group is female. Right? Why? Personality difference. So figure out what your personality is and kind of do the opposite. That's what I've learned. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned through dating. I think about it if I'm going to do something, and I'm like, no. What else do you guys have to add? Right.
And the power is from what I heard. Two things that you not going to be possible on this side of the country, but look at it, I don't believe you.
Yes.
So, that just makes so much sense to you because the opposite. Oh, come on. This is good.
Right.
How do you want to start?
It's your business. You're the CEO, like George said. So what Frank said, if you can't hear him, is like what Barb said on the call the other day. Being plugged in, and Frank was on there, is interview people. I'm in charge. I'm the CEO. I'm the business. You're going to still love people, but you're not going to beg.
But it's simple. Yeah, why do you make it so complicated?
This is what you're doing. Be proud of it. And the other thing that Barb said too is you guys are representing almost $1 billion company. That's huge. They're putting up all the advertising. They're putting up all of the sign. Oh, they do everything. And I loved when she said, and I was going to say this the other night to come out, but it really, if the price tag was higher, it was $210,000 rather than $2,100. I'm sorry. So we need, it's almost 2 weeks. Yeah.
I think that's $179, but if I got a couple of people say, no.
Exactly. He's like, because they
Easy
can't
in,
see.
easy out.
Yeah.
Easy in, easy out, and if you, it's $79, 21, oh well, I'll eat it all, and if it doesn't work, okay.
Almost $500,000.
Right.
You're not gonna quit, you're gonna get up.
Right. And that's no difference. I was sitting there laughing on you because I'm like, Quizno's no different. It was $250,000. Our house was on the line. That was to open the door. That was not the thousands of dollars of food inventory, paying payroll and the staff, all the stress and the legal, blah, blah, blah. Chris, right? How much? Right? Everyone thinks, oh, there, she's exhausted and this and all of that. Really? This is $1 million facility. That if patients do not show up, guess what? You still have to pay the bills, you still have to pay the hygienist, and guess who's left? Right? So it's like, check the egos, dude. But that's where if you have to pay $210,000 to get into Advocare, I think they're going to make dials. I think, like my husband told me, but I think you're going to make the dials. You're going to be open for business, and you're going to have inventory, and you're going to treat it a lot different. I love to recall that. Really great. So I hope that was helpful. I know. Hi. Hi, we're having a training. Just wanted to say hi. We're live on Webinar Jam. Yeah, right now. This is Brad Nelson. Yeah, he said sweet, so just wanted to say hi. Thank you again for sharing Spark with me. These guys all thank you too. I know, you're laughing. All right, I'll talk to you later. I'll call you back. All right, love you, bye.
Oh, I thought maybe you put him on the spot and say, don't you have something to say?
Oh, yeah, no. He would say something. No, he's all fired up. He got back to back. So we like brother and sister. So anyway. But know what your pay period, your dates are. That's the biggest thing that I wanted to get out of today. Hopefully we achieved that. Not hopefully, but we did. If you're saying you know when the pay periods are ending, you know when the call is on Wednesday, the purpose of that, get that embedded in your brain. Write down your goals. That means for adding goals last night. Whether it's health, whether if you have no clue, then write I have no clue. But if you've got team members, Andy, you haven't written yours. Are you on Facebook? Do you know what to write now? Great. We're getting to advisor. We're going to lock in the advisor by this date so that we can earn the rookie bonus, so that we can help Art and Kim. And there's your story. Do you know what your goals are now? You're going to get to advisor by this date so that we. Like she's nuts and scared to death, and why did they even come? That's crazy. Right? Anyway, so you have your dates, write your goals, invite your group, follow up, follow up, follow up, wear your colors, speak about it. Next step is Wednesday. I'm out of town because I fly out for Dallas and then LA, so Wednesday is Litter, so say wrong, it'll say Litter, it was correct. Is that right? What I used to say, Littner or something. The funk and that event is next Wednesday, and then next Saturday we'll have our first second call about product barriers. So we think of products, things that stump you, stories that you have. We're getting Come on.
Oh, there.
Well, I'll be in LA, so all the ones that just got that are gonna be in LA are like, yeah, if you're in LA with us, you're getting up at 6:30 in the morning LA time. Yay, us! And I'm with you all.
As well.
It's Dynasty. Awesome.
Yeah,
Sweet.
excited. All right,
Signing off.
sign off. All right, thank you guys. Just gotta figure out how to work these